need to be praying before you interview. You need to be praying right before you walk in the doors of that interview. You need to be praying right when you leave that interview. You need to be praying for the days that you're waiting to hear something back after that interview. What's up, everybody? It's your girl Ayisha, and I'm back with another video. If it's your first time joining my channel, welcome, and if you've been rocking with me, welcome back. So guys, last week I told you all that you can be on the lookout for how I've never interviewed for a job and didn't get it. So that's what this video is going to be about today. I've generated some steps, some key points, and some things that I think will actually help you all who are seeking jobs, or if you're trying to leave your job and go to the next job, or if you're about to graduate and trying to break into the workforce. I think these tips and things will be very beneficial to you all. So it's just my ask that you watch the entire video so you don't miss out on some really good information and things that's actually helped me through my years. I'm still young. I haven't really, had a long working tenure, but I feel like these steps can pretty much help anyone. So I hope you all enjoy and stay tuned for the video. So my first thing that I want to touch on is the 5 P's. So I put together 5 P's that, in a sense, like the sum of all the information that I'm about to give you guys. But if I was to generalize it, those 5 P's. So number 1, be punctual. Number 2, be prepared. Number 3, be positive. Number 4, be persistent. And number 5, be prayed up. So y'all was like, okay, so those are good. That's a good 5 P's, but what do you mean by that? So number 1, targeting being punctual. I know a lot of you all have heard this saying, to be early is to be on time, and to be on time is to be late. That is directly applicable to interviewing. You never want to show up to an interview on time, because it's just okay. You always want them, you'd rather be waiting on the person that's going to interview you as opposed to them waiting on you. Because if that turns out to be the case, you might as well turn around and go home, because it shows you're not responsible. It shows that hey, you don't really care if you get this job or not. And it makes me, it's an insult to them. It makes me want to just think okay, they don't care, so why should I? It's just showing that you didn't take it seriously. So you always need to be punctual when you're going to a job interview, which I'm sure most of you guys know that. Number 2, be prepared. Now, I'm going to say be over-prepared, because there's a such thing as being prepared and then being over-prepared. I would rather go into an interview knowing the company and all its information like the back of my hand, as opposed to just having some brief knowledge or whatever. Now, I'm not saying, oh, you need to be studying for hours and hours or whatever for an interview for a company. That's me. I study. I study for interviews like a test. But other people, that may not be their forte. Some people just kind of have it. They like to jump in with both feet. I'm there too, but only to a certain extent. So when I say you need to be over prepared, at least have one thing about that company that's programmed into your head, that it's not something that's surface level. It's not something that's at surface level that, okay, anybody knew that or whatever. Really show that you had a genuine interest in the company, especially the role that you're applying for. Number 3, be positive. You need to go into these interviews, full of energy. Make sure you get a good night's rest, and whatever is personal that you may have, leave it at the door. This is your big day, it's secure the bag season, literally. So be positive. If you spoke to somebody once you went into that interview and they didn't speak to you, okay, that's fine. You're not gonna let that steal your joy. You're not gonna let that, ruin your morning. But I just always say, you have to have I don't know, literally tunnel vision when you're going to an interview, because me, I'm super focused. I'm greeting every person that I see once I walk into a building. Why? Because I feel like the interview starts from the moment you step foot on their premises. That's when the interview begins, not once you actually are sitting in front of the person who's interviewing you. So me, I'm going in, hi, good morning, how are you? Hi, good morning, how are you? Really have your game face on if you're interviewing in a team setting, make sure to connect with your peers, because ultimately the people who are kind of like standoffish or reserved, okay, it shows like, okay, well, maybe they wouldn't be good to be a part, like working in a group or working in a team. They're very like, reserved and individual, like they like to stay to themselves, as opposed to this person over here who was making sure that they connected with each and every person in the room. Who's gonna stand out, me or them, right? So it's just like some certain things that you guys like really should keep in mind when you're like actually going to your interview. The next thing, be persistent. So after the interview is all said and done, you're feeling, I don't know, uneasy about it, confident about it. Me, I already be knowing like if I'm gonna get a job. First of all, because I prayed about it, I've had faith, and I always say, God, if you place me in this position and this is the route that you want me to take, I will leave with the job. So up until like recently, like with my like last job, this is like the first time that I actually got nervous, because it was like a 3-step interview process for me. I'm not sure why, but having to do a video recorded a video recorded interview session first, I bombed. I like to talk to people face to face. Y'all, I guess y'all wouldn't be able to tell that because I have a YouTube channel, but I like to talk to people face to face as opposed to virtually. It just somehow, like, I feel like everything that I prepared for, everything that I studied for doesn't come out of my mouth, as opposed to if I'm in your face, in your presence, I feel like I get to take control and I get to direct the conversation, and everything that's coming out of my mouth is fluent. It's easygoing, it's steady. So that's one thing for me. But as far as being persistent, I'm talking about while you're there and once you leave. Do not sit and just wait around twiddling your thumbs or whatever for someone to reach out to you or whatever, especially if it's been a week. Like, give it a few days, but if it's been a week, okay, just send an email or, pick up a phone, call somebody that you can get in contact with who's a part of human resources or the talent acquisition team. Hi, this is Ayisha Smith. I was just calling to, follow up. I had an interview last week for the whatever position, and I just wanted to check the status. And am I still being considered? It goes a long way. Thank them for their time. Thank them for, even giving you the opportunity to interview with their company for that role. Okay? So that's what I mean by being persistent. And then the final thing, pray. Pray, 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 pray. You need to be praying before you interview. You need to be praying right before you walk in the doors of that interview. You need to be praying right when you leave that interview. You need to be praying for the days that you're waiting to hear something back after that interview. Like, that's like the most, I'm going to rearrange this and put pray as number 1, because that is the most important thing. Like, that's the most important thing, because it's not those interviewers who are giving you the job. It's not the human resources team who's giving you the job, talent acquisition. No, if you got that job, it's because of God and nobody else. God blessed you with that job. So y'all remember that. Like, y'all remember that, because who do y'all think? You don't end up thanking the person who interviewed you for, oh yeah, thank you for giving me the job. Nope, I get a job. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Like, thank you, God. Thank you, Lord. Like, had it not been for you, I would not have this job. I would not have this. I would not have that. Whatever. Like, yeah. So pray is number 1 out of my 5 P's. So, as far as what else can I touch on? Oh, your professionalism. If that's some like a area where like you struggle, look, you can look up YouTube, practice interviews and things, like practice in the mirror. Like, you can literally like talk to yourself like in the mirror or whatever, like asking yourself some potential interview questions. And where I retrieve those from is Glassdoor. 9 times out of 10, the position that you're applying for has already been given to someone else, and they've reviewed it on Glassdoor. Okay, Glassdoor Don't even like try to use it as a guest. I recommend and encourage you all to use it, like actually create an account so that you can unlock, you know, salary ranges, so you can unlock people's answers to these interview questions that they post, because it's a very helpful tool. Like, there's people just like you who were trying to do their homework and trying to figure out, okay, what did this person have to say about the job, or let me see if somebody posted some of the interview questions online. It's very helpful. Like, utilize your resources, guys. Like, be resourceful in all that you do in preparation for an interview. That's definitely helped me. I'm not gonna say like for who, but I found almost every single question that was asked of me for one of the positions I applied for online. And I wrote them all down, and I wrote out my answers, and that's what I was studying. I was programming these answers and things in my head, like how I wanted to respond, what was going to be too much, what was not going to be enough. And you guys need to familiarize yourselves with the STAR format if you're not familiar. So just in the STAR format, you need to have a story ready, pretty much. So if somebody says, oh, can you tell me about a time when, or can you tell me about a time where, or describe to me a situation where this happened. So you just need to build a story out for them. So you're just going to give a background basis of that story, identify what the problem was, and how did you resolve it. How were you a solution to that problem that you identified? And then in the end, what I like to do as an extra touch is make it applicable to the role that you're applying for. Okay? So it's just like, I don't know, it's almost like a science to me. Like, I love going to interviews, and it's so crazy because other people that, like, you know, makes them nervous, like, ooh, da, 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 da. Me, I'm so confident when I go to interviews. It fuels me because I take control when I get into the room, and I'm like it's like be 60% yourself and then 40% okay, business focus, boom, 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 boom. Like me, no, like I want you guys to get to know who I am as a person, because this is also my first impression with you all. You know what I mean? And you don't want to ever feel like the person you were in the interview, once you get the job, it's like you're walking on eggshells because you're never being yourself, because you're trying to be this, you know, like, I don't know, somebody else. I don't know who. It could be this person over there, this person over. I don't know who, but just like always, like never lose sight of yourself in the interview. They like that. They want to get to know you. And if you've already made it past a virtual interview or a first interview, if it's like a 2-step process, understand that the next interview that you have is just confirmation that they liked you. Okay, it's nothing to fear. It's nothing to worry about. That first interview was the one that counted most. If you make it to a next one, just know you got the job. Like, it's some people don't walk away like in that sense. I don't know, like, sorry for them, but like this interview, the first interview, the virtual one, tough. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, I bombed. I might as well just throw that job in the trash. But no, I was surprisingly, okay, we would like to invite you to a live interview, da da da. I'm like, wow. So all they're doing is confirming. They just want to make sure that they liked you. That the person that you were when, you know, you guys didn't have a direct interaction, when you guys do, I just want to confirm that I like her, that's all. But my final thing, always have some questions prepared for the person who's interviewing you. At the end, they're most likely going to ask, oh, so do you have anything for me? Or did you have any questions? Was there anything else that you want to know? Don't ever be like, oh, no. Because just as they're interviewing you, you're interviewing them. So you saying no or that you don't have any questions for them is like, all right, she don't really care about this job. Maybe she's not interested. We'll give it to the next candidate. Have your questions ready. Have your questions ready, okay? So you can even find those things online. You can be very simple. You can be as simple as, okay, so what's a day in the life like here at XYZ company? Or you can be as complex as, oh, can you give me some of the ways that distinguish a great whatever position from a good person in this position? And that's like a whoa. Because see, and I've used that just because distinguishing between good and great is like, wow. And you reassure them that you don't want to be in the good category, that you want to be in the great category as people in that position. It's like, huh, she's on to something here. So just really be cognizant of that, guys, and just be mindful of how you are on paper. Like, make sure you're exceeding who you are on paper. Okay, guys? Like, this is your opportunity to really seal the deal. Seal the deal. I want all of you guys to walk out of interviews very confident. Hey, to the point where, hey, if I didn't get it, it just wasn't God's will for my life. That's it. That's it. It wasn't anything that you did wrong or whatever, because ultimately, if you really feel like you gave your best and you gave your all and God placed you in that position, you will leave with that job. You will leave with that job. So I hope this helps somebody, anybody, I don't know, but I just really wanted to get this video out to you all, and I hope you all enjoyed it. And happy interviewing, guys. Happy interviewing. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I will see you guys very, 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 very soon again. So I love y'all, and that's a wrap.